these women have worked all over Greater Manchester, but just Manchester, knowing Manchester, 100 years worth of experience. Where's that going to go? That's a loss that you really can't measure. For the organisation, at 40%, it really starts to undermine the valuability of the organisation. It starts to upset those other funders that really care about what we do. We start to worry a little bit about whether we're a good, safe bet or not. And we really can't have that. That cannot happen. So, I talked a bit about it, and I know Nigel, you mentioned it as well. The impact is much wider on women and children. But it's wider still, because it's lost opportunity. I just spent a month writing impact assessments, attending meetings, campaigning. I had 15 bids to write around domestic abuse and disability that would have brought money into the city, a heritage lotteries fund that would have brought money into the city, a culture fund bid that would have brought arts and money into the city, but I haven't done that this month. I've spent it writing out another impact assessment. So what am I going to do next? Well, we are encouraging people, residents, service users, to let the politicians know how it feels. And it's really difficult for slightly domestic abuse because the very nature of abusing it's very difficult for them to be visible. I went to a rally yesterday, and our sister organisation, Haley, were unable to attend because they, as a staff team, are being victimised by a vicious perpetrator. That's the reality of the world that we're working in. So our women are quite invisible, really. So they started to send some postcards. So they're sending postcards to politicians and saying why they think services should be saved. It's a very positive campaign. It's not what's important about it, but we're not always well received by councillors. That's me. Okay, we will be going to scrutiny. We will rock up at exec. We'll use every opportunity to let the politicians know, the decision makers know, the harm these cuts in the voluntary sector will cause. We'll also be asking those difficult questions over and over again. Tell us what your plan is to get us out of this so it doesn't happen next year, because there isn't a credible one on the table that we can say. Tell us what the £14.2 million investment that we're going to make and children and families. Tell us the difference it's going to make for the cost. And as well as consulting us, and I've mixed this idea from analysis working itself. How about we consult us on the income, the dividend, and how we spend that, as well as consulting us on the costs? I think that sounds a little bit of attention as well. So that's what I'm going to say, but I'm still angry. I don't know if you can tell. Frustrated, and I'm really worried. I'm worried for our users.
And last, Amelia.
I'm going to be brief, and I'm going to focus on some of the stuff about action. When Matt asked me to speak on behalf of Voluntary Youth Manchester, which is our umbrella group for the youth organisations. We've been a bit ahead of the curve with campaigning. We had a meeting. There were 17 versions of the refunding plan that the officers had brought to the elected members, and they hadn't approved any of those 17 versions. And we were starting to smell a rat a little bit. So we started campaigning probably 4 months ago, October. So one of the reasons why I joined it is because we see the benefits. So we've got a service user called John. He was sleeping with a knife under his bed. He was frightened of his parents. He knew he was transgender. He thought if he came out at home, he might be killed. Worst case scenario. He spoke to his youth worker. We got him sorted out with some housing at the foyer. We got him sorted out with some support through 42nd Street. we helped him speak to his GP to get his gender reassignment underway. And now he was in a secure mental health unit and tried to kill himself a few times. Now he doesn't want to die. I think that's the impact that youth services have, that's the impact that voluntary sector have. Some of our sister organisations, Hideaway, is feeding young people who don't get a hot meal every day. And, you know, it really is that kind of basic poverty level that a lot of the youth groups are working on. Since 2010, the youth work in the city has had an 87% cut since 2010. So in the past 4 years, for every pound we used to get, we now get 13p. And the new round of cuts is proposing that they merge a few pots together that bring down a £5 million pot to less than 3 million. So we're looking at £2.17 million cut to youth work in the city. We had a consultation, we had an option slide up, there was one option on it, which was like it or lump it, which is disgraceful, isn't it? That's not an option. It's disgusting, and it's not treated as fairly in any way, shape or form. They also are bandying about new ideas that are quite radical, quite contested, and could be really harmful. So they've got an idea of developing a youth trust. So the council sets up a charity, effectively, that bids to places like the big lottery. But you know what? If the lottery gives to one big part in Manchester, it might not give to all of us in Manchester, and we might have a net loss overall. So we don't want them to displace funding that we're actually very good at getting already, aren't we? So after the meeting with the officers, where we started to smell around asking questions, we asked them to leave halfway through that meeting, and there was about 40 organisations represented there, and we decided collectively to do something. So Voluntary Youth Manchester got a template letter together to ask for us to take to our councillors. We had representation from M13 and Helen Gatenby from there, did some research about online petitions. Even though we could get thousands on something like change.org or 38 Degrees or one of those other online petition sites, we decided to petition on the council's website, because if you have 4,000 signatures, they have to debate it at full council. So we had just under 3 weeks to a full council, and we were able to get 2,700 signatures. We didn't quite make it, but we made it enough to be invited to speak at scrutiny next week. And just for your information, as long as you arrive early at scrutiny, all you have to do is go and speak to the scrutiny officer and ask to put in a question. And then, likelihood is, as long as it's polite, they will let you do so. It is at their discretion, but it's not supposed to be a very closed meeting. It's supposed to be open to public questions too. We have been at every possible meeting we can get to where we think councillors are going to be. And we have invited councillors out to our youth groups and had a really high response rate. This doesn't necessarily translate into them making changes on the ground, but it can't hurt, can it? And it's those personal stories, it's thinking about someone like John, that's going to make them care. The funding cut will mean for us is fewer organisations will survive, jobs will be cut, and people will face hostility from their communities, because when the youth club closes, guess where the young people are? They're out on the parks, they're out on the streets. If they think the right land, would you blame the young people who have had everything cut from under them? I'm not sure that I would. And I think the worst and most devastating impact could be the likes of people like John. Without that youth group, without a youth work, people will die. People will die, definitely. And we cannot sit back and not do anything about this. And I think we have got to be brave, because if we, as the org, we've got to really take that leadership and grasp it. So what we've got to do, I think, is actually refuse the cuts. We saw Town Hall. Why not spend that in 2 years' time? Because right now, the money is needed for the actual people of the city, political level. So they are almost using us as lambs to the slaughter to make the city feel the pain, so that we are even more likely to vote Labour in the next election. And that's not moral. They're blaming their local council, so they have to take responsibility. We need to ask them to dip into their reserves, because they have got reserves. They have to keep some of those aside for redundancies, but there's always money. It's just about where the money is, isn't it? They do own the 3 airports, as we know. You need to call your surgeries to tell the personal stories, because it is personal. So we've got to make sure that they know it is, they feel it is. Go to all the scrutiny is on the 15th, but it isn't, it's on the 16th, so it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. You can go, will we have to make them notice it? And I think we've got to have in a bit more radical, because if we're not brave about it, then they're in position and there'll be further penalties to come. So we've got to say enough is enough, because it is, isn't it? Because our people deserve better.
We don't know, I thought that was a good route in school, thanks and lifted spirits. We probably need to get up and walk around. So I suggest we go to break now, and we can have some discussions about what we will collectively do, think about what we want to say, plan some of these things about going to school. So we're going to break for
I can't hear.
maybe 20 minutes. So
Right. Do you remember when I sent you to Ronnie's? Also the guy next to him called Joel. 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 J-O-E-L. Tell him I said. Yeah. You know where Ronnie's, isn't it? Yeah. Shout out to him. Right.